so.
They want to take what you got to go get it and go at it.
Right now is your chance. Right now is your opportunity. Right now, you got to make today count.
Guys, yesterday was an exciting day of football. When I saw, I watched a lot of goddamn on games yesterday. And after yesterday's show in the football, like I posted on the show the other day and today, any given Saturday. And my thing is, I'm looking at these games like, are they trying to put Alabama in? Do they really want us in this playoff? Do they want Alabama in?
It's looking closer than it did 2 weeks ago.
Because regardless of how we feel about the team now, I feel like by that time, we probably after this week we're gonna see what we are and what we ain't.
Right.
For sure.
But how y'all been doing, man?
Like just observing this college football season, I hadn't seen a team yet that don't have an ugly win. Like there's not a dominance this year that I've seen in past years. Like this baby's wide open. With this 12-team playoff, we're gonna see something this year.
I agree.
Man, listen.
Shout out Tom Reed.
Yeah, shout out Tom Reed. And I'm going to apologize up front, y'all. I'm still a little bit under the weather, so I might mute my mic here and there or whatever, blow my nose, whatever I'm trying to do. But anyway, man, listen, right now I'm optimistic. This year started out, with us as Alabama fans on the high, feeling good about the team, where we can go. A lot of unknowns, but, we were feeling good about it. Hit a rough patch, we lost to Vandy, barely escaped South Carolina, lose to Tennessee, and then the last game we looked good against Missouri. It was a depleted Missouri as far as their team. They had a lot of people out, but yet and still, I'm feeling good about this year now because as I'm looking across the landscape of college football, I mean, there's no really, really, really top runner out there that you can be like, hey man, this person or this particular school is the school. If we're gonna say that, I would give it to Oregon, but as we can see, at any given moment, man, any given Saturday, any team can go down, and it's just it makes for some good football.
It does,
and that's exciting. But we only have like 4 weeks left of regular play, and that's kind of sad.
That's sad.
It seems like we was all off season about 2 years. Seems like Saban retired 2 years ago. We've been waiting 2 years to get some football going, and all of a sudden it's over with. But overall, I'm optimistic about our chances of making it. I'm not worried about the SEC championship. I just want to make it to the playoffs, but we have to handle business, y'all. We have to handle business.
I'm more definitely. Yesterday was very exciting for me. I loved it. I had so many games going at 12 o'clock spot, the 3:30 spot. And like I said, yesterday we had a bye week, but it felt like a bye week that I needed to watch football freely, not get riled up or upset about anything, just laughing and enjoying the football. Some games that happened yesterday I was like, I ain't think that was gonna happen, but it happened. But I want to talk about the SEC, Georgia and Florida yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at what Tom Reed has in the chat there.
Oh yeah, that boy. I told y'all that boy got more turnovers than the bakery at this point. I don't know what the heck going on with Carson Beck, but I said it before the season started that last year I think we seen the best of Carson Beck. And people thought I was trying to be a hater because I'm an Alabama fan, said that. And I was just saying that basically I think we seen the best of him. And even if he repeats the season that he had last season, it was good enough to win a national championship. But it don't even look like he repeating that type of season. And it still holds true to what I said, that I think we seen the best of Carson Beck last season.
If I'm not mistaken, he's already got more turnovers than he had last year. Somebody fact check me on that, but I believe he does.
Can I
Tom.
say
But
this? Go
there
ahead. Go
again,
ahead.
he don't have his safety blankets no more. And like, I'm not even cutting the kid, but when you get used to having a Lad McConkey that's an automatic first down, eat up the seam, that X receiver spot, and then you've got Brock Bowers, who's one of the best college tight ends we've possibly ever seen as far as reliability and just getting the job done, making a big play when it matters. When you go from that to not really, I still think they got talent, but it's just different. And he's forcing things, and I don't know. He's seeing ghosts out there sometimes. It looks like I don't know what's up with him, man. He looks bad though.
Dylan Bell seems like the best player on their team this year. Like the guy that they can depend on is what I'm saying. Like.
Right.
Dominic Lovin, he getting targets, but it ain't no targets that really got dang on pop off the start to break the play, like game breaker type plays. The run game inconsistent for Georgia. For Georgia, what I expect them to do in the run game is not this. It's not the same. And I'm talking about this about Georgia because Alabama didn't play yesterday. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the same thing about our team too. So
most definitely.
I realized Florida they got a good damn defense, man. Their defense is really good to me, man. Yesterday it was at least.
Yeah.
They got good physicality.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Got a question for y'all.
What's up?
And I like Tom Reed to chime in on this as well. Hey, what's going on, Icebox? Okay, so we was coming into the season. We had Beck expected to be the top runner for the Heisman. First pick in the draft, or at least the first quarterback taken in the draft. We had high expectations of Miro as well. Heisman contender talk, this and going kind of high off the board or whatever. Do you think that plays a factor? You think these guys automatically in their heads already saw okay, we got the NFL draft coming up. We're talking, we're coming off the board early. Heisman talk. We got NIL. Do you guys think that really plays a factor in the psyche of these kids? Maybe, and they didn't come in prepared to play football as if they are this is their second year. They got 2 more years left or whatever, and they're looking so far ahead that kind of, how a wide receiver catch the ball, start running before he had the ball in his hand. What I'm saying? So, are we feeling that effect with them? Do you think maybe? I mean, just because I'm with you, Nick, on as far as his ceiling, as far as Beck. But at the same time, I am surprised at what I'm seeing from Beck. I really expected way more from him. He don't have McConkey, and he don't have, what was the other guy? Brock Bowers. But still, the poise that I saw Beck play with and everything, he just looked like a whole totally different person. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised. It shocked me. It took me by surprise. So I don't know if NIL and you having future plans has maybe taken the focus away a little bit. I mean, what do you guys think? It may be just me.
I don't know. It to me, it seemed like that could be a distraction that they could be looking for there, like you said, almost similar to receivers seeing the open space before they catch the ball and they try to run and drop it. Mm-hmm. And it does seem like that effect. A lot of distraction going on with this NIL period of time, and it probably could be there. I don't truly know what their mindset is, but I know a lot of go through their mindset right now. But the mindset that they got to keep it ahead of you, the draft boards are saying that, but the draft boards have lied to players several times. So if your main goal, your real goal is to get to the NFL, the grind cannot stop. The grind got to even turn up even more.
Right.
If that is their mindset. But
right.
With these kids, it probably is about, I need the money now. I worry about the rest later. That probably is a mindset. I don't know.
What you think?
Man, to be honest with you, it's hard to say because there's so many distractions and different factors now that guys deal with that we haven't seen before. I've never liked Beck's deep ball. I've always thought that was a weakness in his game. And like I said, having those two guys last year makes him look better than he is sometimes. It helps his completion percentages. It helps, helps him continue drives down the field when he can rely on those guys to always make a play, whether it be a first down or a touchdown. And I think he's kind of just being exposed for what he is now. He don't have those two guys that he can rely on. He's trying to do too much, and he's not that kind of talent. And I'm not trying to say he's bad, but he's not the quarterback that people pretended he was. And the same could be said for Alabama's quarterback right now. I mean, as far as that goes, I'm not just throwing Georgia's quarterback under the bus either, but there's a lot of disappointing quarterbacks this year, I feel like, in the ACC and college football in general. Right. His footwork hasn't looked great. He, like I said previously, he's seeing ghosts in the pocket. He's, I don't know, he's not anticipating his throws very well. There's a lot of things you look at on footage that just looks bad. Right. It's not just the turnovers. It's what leads to them, like mechanics wise. Right. So there's a lot of things he's doing right now that if they don't get it corrected, not only is it going to hurt his draft stock, to me, he's not in the Heisman race at all, but it's going to hurt Georgia down the road somewhere. Right.
And it's not just the quarterbacks. I mean, we're talking about the quarterbacks because, those are basically the heads of the football team. That's
sure.
That's it. But you see it all across the board on defense, on, whatever skill position player may be. I just kind of noticed that, and I was just wondering. But in a perfect world, you would think, like, hey, listen, I'm coming out this year, or my thoughts are I'm coming out this year. So, like Nick was saying, I'm laying it all on the line right this year because this is the money year, right? I want all the film, the good film footage I can have, or whatever, to make it a more hey man, that's a no-brainer type call for owners to come at me in a draft or whatever. So I don't know. I know for me, and this is me. This is just my opinion. This season has hurt Miro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh yeah, big time.
Go ahead, Nick.
And I gotta take. This is my own take. This is my own being my own little world. I'm gonna tell you what else hurting Miro draft stock right now. I think I'm gonna tell you a person, Anthony Richardson.
Yep.
Yes,
I think himself is hurting Jalen Miro's draft stock because
Miro is still just a project, just like Anthony Richardson was.
Yep. And are they going to be willing to take a project quarterback moving this far? Well, the NFL owners are crazy. They probably would. I don't know. But I think that type of player is the same type of player as Miro. I think Miro is a little bit better than Richardson at this point. Try to say I need to pressure wash my house. But I think Miro is a better quarterback than Anthony Richardson. But I think that type of player is going to hurt Miro's stock, man. And with him underperforming, that's just my opinion. Though. That's just my own little world or whatever.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering, we were talking about Carson Beck and how he was looking this year. And I was just wondering about that whole coming into the draft, NIL deal type of thing. Maybe that was, maybe affect him a little bit.
Dirt Road Bigfoot asked a question right here. If you don't mind, I'd like to address. He said, do you guys think Simpson or another quarterback would be better than Milroe in DeBoer's system? Going forward, definitely a different quarterback because what Milroe does best isn't necessarily what DeBoer is known for. But right now, I think Milroe is the best quarterback because he has the most experience. I don't think you could throw Simpson in against LSU and win the ball game through 4 quarters. I don't think Lonergan, I don't think Austin Mack, I don't think any of those guys could step up in that big SEC night game rivalry playoff indications on the line. I don't think you want anybody else but Milroe because he's got the most experience. You got to be careful putting a quarterback in and letting him stink it up early in his career, getting thrown into a game.
Yep.
There's a mental aspect to that. We've seen guys never come back from that.
Yep. Confidence killer.
Yeah, you see it in the NFL all the time. Draft a kid, in the first 5 picks, throw him on a really bad team. He'll play 2 years. You never hear about him again because they just, the team won't trade them off. They don't do anything to build around them. And no matter how talented they are, they can't get out of the basement. So, there's a thing too. When people were talking about, players not being as hungry right now as they used to be, I think there's a lot to that. It's hard to be hungry when you've already got money sometimes. Get what I'm saying? Like when you come from the struggle and then you get shown a slice of the pie when you've never had it before, it's hard to have that same hunger. Some guys mentally let that make them better, but they're rare. Those are the guys you've seen like Tom Brady in the NFL or, pick your guys that played a long time in the NFL that even though they got paid, they were super motivated to get better and better. Peyton Manning, Ray Lewis, the list goes on of guys that kept putting in the work and trying to improve the game. And the money was never the thing. They wanted to win. They wanted to win championships. And that's a rare breed of guy. I can't sit here and say that if somebody spent millions of dollars at me, I would be as motivated as I would be without it. I don't know. I've never been in that situation and I never will be. But that's a rare kind of player.
And it's funny you say it that way. I'm taking the terms of what my son was telling me. He was talking about rappers yesterday, and he was talking about the rapper Lil Baby. He said he think he fell off. I said, do you think he fell off what, rapping wise or what? He said he hadn't been dropping albums or songs like that neither. I said, you know why? I said, 'cause he rich already. I said, why are we doing all this work? I said, they happy with what they did and touring on the road, performing the songs. I said, that's why you see rappers that I'm not necessarily saying they fell off as rapping lyrics wise, but as far as putting in the work, getting in the studio, making hit after hit, I said he rich already. He rich now.
Right.
Yeah, your motivation is not the same. Your what you're around that kind of made you who you are and gave you your ideas and things culturally is different as well. So yeah, it would be hard to maintain that. It would be really hard to maintain that.
And Michelle, the reason why we talking about because the topic was Georgia and Florida, and we did get on big. That's why we was talking about it. Now we're just talking about the QBs as a whole right now.
But the answer to Icebox question, as far as the if we put somebody else in, I agree with you guys as far as throwing them in today, right now. If we were to see Simpson get in and play against LSU this coming weekend, I don't think it'll be a good thing to do. And we also got to look at. I think a lot of people look at the board and they go back to last year with Washington, and we got to realize that Penix and Milroe are two different animals.
100%.
They're two different breeds. Go ahead, Nick.
So I don't know if y'all watched the Pick'em show yesterday. I did Pick'em show with Icebox yesterday. Oh, me and Rags, that was a good ass show yesterday too.
I had to go back and watch it. I was at work.
That was good yesterday.
I hadn't seen it yet, but I always go back and watch them, so I'll catch it.
The thing I brought up was people when we heard Killing the Boy, we seen Milroe, and we was like, "Oh, he's gonna be Michael Penix." We thought that from the time he was hired to the time now was gonna be enough to turn Jalen Milroe into Michael Penix. A lot of fans don't realize Michael Penix was in Indiana with Coach Killing the Boy. Exactly. He put a lot of work in this kid already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing, too. Could you imagine if Milroe would have had this same guy and Ryan Grubb that was at Washington Penix at a younger age and had developed through their system for 3 or 4 years? I mean, you would have had his athleticism with a little bit better ability to read the defense and a little bit better throwing motion. Just the little mechanical things that you can fix. He would have had time to fix that. And, it would have been ridiculous. That's a fun what if.
Versus how many quarterbacks, coach, how many OCs did Milroe go through while he been there?
He been through like 3 at least.
Yeah, he been going through them.
I mean, as him being a quarterback, he's been through 3. It's him being a quarterback.
And one of them didn't even want to play. One of the OC said, "Go play defensive line." I mean, he said that, but he was like, "Just don't play quarterback. I don't care what you do."
And also, if we go back and look at Penix as well, and I'm going back to the Bull and Penix. How many quarterback design run plays did Michael Penix run? That wasn't his thing. That wasn't what he really did.
Yeah.
I mean, he had escapability, but he's a true pocket passer, and that's what he did.
Michael Penix is actually fast, but that wasn't the highlight of his quarterback play. That wasn't the highlight of his quarterback play.
So, on to the next.
Yeah. On to the next. I'm going to talk about the big one, though, man. A&M. We're gonna talk about the other ones. I want to kind of get into the A&M and South Carolina game yesterday. When I said that was a good game, in my opinion, should have been like the game of the week type shit to me. But hey, of course you got Ohio State and Penn State out there. But hey, football people gonna watch that game yesterday.
We all knew Penn State ain't beating Ohio State, and Ohio State didn't blow them out. But did you really trust James Franklin and Penn State to beat Ohio State? Because I didn't.
I bet y'all people. Last year when I picked them to beat Michigan, that's when I said I'm done with drinking the Kool-Aid because I always do it. I've been doing it for the past couple years. Every time they get on this little hot spot for this one certain game, I pick them and I'm like, but last year I'm like, why did I do this to myself last year? Why did I do myself like that? No, I didn't expect it, and I didn't pick them to win.
Man, listen. The Nittany Lions gonna do what the Nittany Lions do. Yep. They will play good against teams that lesser tier, talented than them, and they look good, and we give them a hype all the time. But when it comes down to playing the big games, Franklin just never up for it. This year, Michigan is just down. I'm sorry, Michigan is they lost a lot. They lost a head coach. They lost a lot of players and new coach in and different schemes and all this type of stuff. So Michigan is not the Michigan of old, but if Michigan had been halfway decent or whatever they had, like they've been the last couple of years, Penn State would have lost that game as well. So I'm not surprised about Ohio State beating Penn State. That was a no-brainer. That was a no-brainer pick. I didn't even pick, but it's Ohio all day, every day as far as that go. James Franklin, man, he's good for a good 10 season win, but that's about as far as you're gonna get with this guy.
My only issues with Franklin, he can put together a pretty good football team, but there's always some scandals that go on with former players with him. He had that same problem at Vandy. He's having that problem at Penn State right now. I don't know if y'all have heard about it, but they've had some allegations of some things happening at Penn State with some players from the team last year. He had the same thing happen at Vandy. I don't know. It's just a weird thing to see. And I'm not even putting the actions that those gentlemen did on the coach, but sometimes it's a certain type of character issues that you keep recruiting that come back to bite you in the ass. And, there's a line that you got to walk where you want a guy that's tough, but you don't want a guy that's, also trying to rob banks on the weekends either. There's a mentality and a line you've got to walk there. But at the same time with James Franklin, he's vanilla to me. He's going to beat teams. He's going to over-talent a lot of teams because he's a decent recruiter. He's going to over-talent teams that he should beat. But he can't hang with the big boys. And there's something about having to break through to the other side. Saban had to do it at Alabama. DeBoer got a win against Georgia early, but then had some, let down losses. But he did get that big win against a good SEC opponent to kind of get that off his back a little bit because that's a pressure thing. And to me, Franklin's never got it. Lane Kiffin's never got it. Old dude at USC that I think might end up losing his job at the end of the year, he's never got it. There's just certain coaches that never cross that barrier, for whatever reason.
I agree, man. I agree. But I would never bring up the Penn State punch no way, so I was done with that shit last year. And they came out like they was about to do something. They came out, I was like, oh shit, is this the year I should have took a swing? I said, nah, it's too early. Let's watch it some more. Let's watch it some more. But yesterday, that A&M and the South Carolina game. When I say this game was I watched trenches. Yep. Both trenches are good, but yesterday, goddamn, A&M could not block South Carolina, bro. They could not block them guys, and them guys were going crazy. I like Marcel Reeves. I do like him a lot. But he gonna have to get a pass game some type of way. Because if you just finna run the ball, you're gonna have a long day in the SEC. You're gonna have a long day playing this game. Like you're gonna have to find a passing game. And it don't have to be much of a passing game, but it gotta be enough to make somebody goddamn respect it a little bit. Because
all right, I agree.
South Carolina was getting after it yesterday. That was getting after it yesterday, man. That Lenore Sellers, that was hitting that dude. And that dude was like, get off me.
Get out of here. Get out of my way, little boy.
I was talking about coming in and landing smack. They was coming in and smacking him. And he was not falling. So yeah, man, that game was good yesterday.
I got a stupid hypothetical, but we like to bounce things around here, and it's on my brain.
Yeah.
South Carolina, some of their biggest playmakers right now are really young.
Yeah.
If they can keep those guys there and build around them, is South Carolina going to be a dark horse to cause some more issues in the SEC than they already have this year? Next year, do you think they're one of those teams? Because that freshman defensive end is unblockable. I don't know what you do with that guy. Like that's man. If you're a school like Ohio State or Alabama, you're gonna throw the bag at this kid if he hits the portal like you ain't never seen. Because man, he's dangerous. It's Sellers. He's a guy that if they could get the right coach in to work with this kid, and just do what he does best. The hell with trying to make him some kind of, freak passer. Use his athleticism, man, and get him in the right system. Oh, good God. South Carolina's got so much talent, and it wasn't apparent to us at the beginning of the year like it is right now. But they've got young talent. And if they keep the core of that, and I think they got the funding to do it, like they're an SEC team. Like I don't, this ain't like this is Temple or something, but if they can retain the core of these young guys and build off that for next year, look out for South Carolina next year. They will make even more noise. I just wanted to see what y'all thought about that.
Nah, man, I agree. They be getting some good recruits in as well, and I think they still stacking on that. Get good recruits for the South Carolina brand of football.
Mm-hmm.
North Sutter, like you said, if they can get some, man. I think of people when I see quarterbacks like him and his athletic ability, it makes you appreciate what Gus was able to do as a coordinator and with the talent of the quarterbacks he had. Nick Marshall, what he did with Cam Newton as an OC, makes you appreciate those guys. That type of coach. And if he can get a coach that will just tune into his strength and make him stronger, South Carolina can be something dangerous. South Carolina defense yesterday were playing some lights out football, like you said. Damn, one of their best players is a dang on true freshman on the edge, bro. And I really think they can keep them guys together, in my opinion. I really think they can keep them guys together. Don't know what their mindset is as far as NIL money. I hope that doesn't become an effect. But if this group stays together and they continue to build, South Carolina could be a problem in the SEC.
I don't know, man. I look at South Carolina differently. I look at South Carolina like Purdue. They're one of them schools that you see they have potential, and they'll get up for like a couple big game and ruin some people's momentum quick.
Yeah.
Remember, like 2 years ago when Tennessee beat Alabama and Tennessee, and then Tennessee was on that high for a minute. They were rolling. And South Carolina just murdered them, bro. I mean, they ran out of fireworks. They didn't have no more fireworks to shoot. They scored so much on them. But then again, they let egg like the next week. And it just seemed like they could never put it together for a complete season. They have peaks here and there in a lot of valleys. And it's sad because they have them, they're not a scrub team. They're not a bottom of the bucket school. South Carolina has money. Don't front. South Carolina is a damn good school, but they could just never put it together fully. To in my opinion, to take the SEC, to even win the SEC. I think they'd be a dog horse to knock off a team. They'll beat a Tennessee, maybe beat Alabama, they may beat a Georgia here, but that'd be it. It's like their Super Bowl. And I don't know, they played last night like it was their Super Bowl against Texas, maybe because Texas was the number one undefeated school in the SEC at that time. So Texas A&M is it. They're the undefeated SEC team. They're number one in the SEC. But we finna show everybody that we can play some ball. I hope they can keep it up. I really do. I hope they can keep it up because I like parity. I like, when you never know, like we're going to South Carolina. Oh, well, we already know that's a win for whoever, Like, nah. I like Vandy this year. Like, no. Hey, Vandy got people looking all kind of cockeyed now,
Yeah. Real crazy. Real crazy.
Especially the state of Alabama.
That damn Vandy game had me cockeyed. I was crying all down my back. My shit was cockeyed, man. Like, I ain't kidding you. Like, had me emotional. I didn't cry, but like Red and Friday. If I'd have had a car to go to, I'd have cried in the car. Like I would have.
Hey, listen. Y'all remember on next Friday when Ice Cube when they get the old girl phone number and then they were like, he ain't gonna get it.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna get it.
He ain't gonna get it.
I hope you don't get it.
And I was like, yeah. Then I was like Auburn with Vandy yesterday. I hope they beat them. Auburn beat Auburn. I would hate. I ain't gonna lie.
That's me too. I'm trying not to do it so much out loud because I feel like karma caught up to me twice this year. But at the same time, now that they've lost them too, I can go back and talk to them about Auburn.
I will say, Auburn got some scrap about them. They got a little fight in them. It's the quarterback play.
Good.
It's the quarterback play. They gotta get quarterback play.
And I will say this though, what's that kid's name? The quarterback. He's cut down on the turnovers a lot the last 4 games.
He has.
He has. Yeah, he's kept them in some ball games, every single one. And like, it's easy for us being Bama fans to clown Auburn. We hate Auburn. If Auburn was good right now, they'd be talking so much mess about us. But man, they're this close. Like, that's a team with 3 wins right now that really looks like they should have been like 6-2. They've been in every damn ball game they've played in. I mean, really, other than Georgia, they've been in every ball game they played in, and like, they're close. Their defense is really good.
Man, they scrapping. I mean, that defense look nice. It just like you say, he did have cutting over on the turnovers, but he still don't have that thing to elevate them to the next level.
Yeah, that killer instinct, that ability to finish it off. He just can't. I don't know what it is.
And with Vandy, you seen it yesterday. It was close for a long time, but they had at some point they had that they took it up to another gear yesterday in that game, and it was like, yeah, we finna win this thing. When I say that goddamn Diego, what is his name? Diego Pavio. He freezing the state of Alabama right now.
Dude, he's 3-0 against Hugh Freeze. Like,
at 2 different schools.
Yeah,
like, the story he got to tell his kids and his grandkids, man, that's just gonna be an amazing story, bro.
It really is.
Yeah.
Man. So Arkansas, Ole Miss. Arkansas let me down yesterday.
Yeah.
It's not even the fact that they lost, it's the fact that they got the doors blown off of them. Ole Miss. This is what makes me so upset about Ole Miss. This is what I'm expecting from Ole Miss the whole goddamn on season. This is what they come out against Georgia next week, and they're not gonna look like the same goddamn team. There's just the inconsistency of Ole Miss. Like 1 week they look like they got it all. The next week they be like, yeah, y'all ain't got it at all.
Man, listen. You know, a lot of people call me. Even Kangaroo called me. Maybe Friday. Hell, yesterday, one day, I don't know. He was asking me about head coaches. My cousin called me. He'll be my fan. He lived with me. And they was like, if the board don't work out, if he leaves or whatever, we want Lane Kiffin. And me, I said no.
No.
I'm a no person. Not as a head coach. I'll take him as an offensive coordinator, but not as a head coach.
Head coach.
To my Alabama.
Oh, hell no.
I'm like, it's a no for me because Kiffin he played too damn much. He's like a little kid.
Yeah.
You know, he's like a little kid. You know he's smart, right? He's like, he can do the homework and he turn in all the work. He get all the answers right, but then he do something to go to detention. Like, why? What's wrong with you, man? He don't take it.
He gets bored easy.
Yeah, like he gets bored. Like he got like OCAC, DC, whatever that shit is.
I know.
He can't just
ADD. I think
he can't sit down for a minute. He need Ritalin or Adderall or something.
His social media is proof of that, man. Like his social media is proof of that. Like he trolls his own fan base, not just everybody else's. Like he trolls everybody. Like it's like he ain't happy if there ain't no drama going on.
Right. And so Kiffin just, I didn't expect him to put up that many points against Arkansas, but then again, it don't surprise me. And then again, like you said, Nick, next week he come up and he'll struggle like hell against Georgia.
Hey, my guy thinks otherwise. He said, I'm telling you, Ole Miss will beat UGA next week.
I don't think that's crazy.
I don't think it's crazy because for one, I just said about the inconsistency. I know how I feel, but we can't say that Georgia has been playing inconsistent themselves. Yep. And will Carson Beck come out and make them same bonehead turnovers? Because if you make them, could Ole Miss capitalize off of them? They have an offense that could capitalize off of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If Ole Miss comes out and scores somewhat close to like they did yesterday, and you go out and if you're Georgia and Beck makes a few turnovers, you're out of the game. I mean, because I don't think Georgia's secondary is the world beaters that they've been in the past. You've talked about that a lot this year. They're good, but they're not great. Mm-hmm. And there's levels to this. And I even thought Florida, like with Lagway, I don't think he's the greatest ball thrower in the world, but he exposed their secondary a couple times with some big shots and actually seen guys that were open.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, what is this? You know? And I don't know, man. Like that game's gonna be interesting. That's one I can't miss. I have to sit down and watch that. Are we gonna see Georgia from Texas again? Like, are we gonna see a team that's fired up and ready to come back out? Or are we gonna see Ole Miss on a redemption arc that we didn't think we'd see after the Kentucky loss? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, I agree with what Judge Evans said. There's no perfect team in college football right now, especially with a 12-team on playoff, dog eat dog.
Well, I mean, the playoffs don't really play into it just yet because they ain't started yet. But it's just a weird time for football. There's a lot of parity because of the transfer portal and everything else. Like, teams have just got more talent spread out than they used to have. Like, that's just facts.
I agree. But yesterday, Duke and goddamn on Miami. I thought Duke was about to do it.
I wanted them to do it. I'm already tired of hearing Miami fans.
Couldn't stop them. But at one point in the game, let's completely break down, guys. Let's let Miami do this. Because we gotta get them back relevant. The ACC has to get them back relevant. So Duke, nobody ain't really looking for y'all in football like this. So let me make this call, and this is where y'all start choking it up at. That's what it be feeling like sometimes. I'm like, y'all had it. Malik Murphy, I like that guy. I like what Daddy meant, whatever his name is, the head coach. I like what dude got going over there. But yesterday they end up choking on their dog bone yesterday, and I was like, God dang.
I didn't have any expectation. They did better than I thought they would do. They held in longer than I thought they would, to be honest with you. But even if it got close and something crazy, it would have been a crazy call. Miami would have won. Miami got that doggone that Auburn look they had a couple of years back where I was just going their way. Miami is a new Auburn. They just a new Auburn right this season anyway. So I didn't expect Duke to hang in that long though. I will say that.
I'm looking at the game yesterday. They undefeated right now, and they can't even pack out their stadium.
They don't really believe. They still think like, man, this is a fluke. The real Miami gonna show up.
I'm gonna tell you who don't think it's a fluke, and that's the old Miami fans. I seen a dude look like Uncle Lukey at the gas station not too long ago, decked out in his 80s Miami gear, was bumping 2 Live Crew. Like I thought the U was back. I thought, man, are we serious right now?
Like,
I'm talking about an old cat too. Like this man was knocking on 75, and boy, he was bumping it. And I was like, hey, that's cool, man. You know, it's cool to see that again because I ain't seen Miami relevant in a hot minute. And as much as we can shit on them for how they win, their quarterback's getting the shit done. And I mean, they're undefeated right now, and Clemson looks beatable again after yesterday.
Yeah.
So here's Miami looking like possibly the favorite in the ACC again. So the ACC's wild right now. Let's just be honest.
SMU got something to say about that.
Oh, they hey, Pitt's only got 1 loss. They got a bad loss, but they only got 1 loss. I mean, who knows, man? Like ACC wide open. This is fun.
I keep forgetting that SMU is in the ACC. I keep forgetting that. You know, they hadn't registered to me fully. And once
it's hard for me to think about too. Like it's part of Nebraska being in the Big Ten, and they've been in there now for like what 16 years or something. Mm-hmm. And I still think of them like a Big 12, like Big 8, like that kind of thing. Like there's certain teams I just put with certain, and I just can't overlook it.
But SMU and Miami don't play each other in the regular season though. So they had to meet in the championship.
That's what I'm saying. SMU got something to say about it.
So now wait a minute. Who does Clemson? Does Clemson play any one of those teams during the regular season too?
They play Miami. I think they play Miami, don't they? I think Clemson and Miami play this year.
And you never know, Clemson can come out with that game and like, okay, we bounce back.
I'm reading this comments. Got just said back in the day, Miami, Ohio State, Nebraska, and USC ruled college football till Saban got there. Nebraska wouldn't really rule in college football when Saban got there. I mean, they had already kind of dropped off. I mean, Ohio State's always been a prominent team. Nebraska's had runs. They had about 30 years where they were really good. Miami had about the same, about 20, 25 years where they were really good. But, boy, he mentioned USC, and that USC done fell off. Like, I'm telling you, that USC looks bad.
They need to go to the Pac-12 that they're trying to start back again. They need to go back to that shit.
I don't know that they beat Washington State or Oregon State right now, to be honest with you.
Is boys
Washington
going
State playing pretty good football.
Washington got that smoking right now, bro.
Yeah.
Washington State, they going crazy right now, bro.
There's a lot of 2-3 loss teams right now that you really wouldn't want to run into late in the season. Playing good football.
Clemson play Pitt. They don't play Miami, but they play Pitt next week.
Yeah, they don't play Miami. No, looking.
This is gonna be interesting. How many teams are in ACC now? Is it like 16 or something? Like it's crazy.
I know they didn't pack that thing out over there, bro.
Like they almost got to eliminate one more non-conference game and add another conference game because there's a lot of these teams that's got really good records right now that ain't playing each other. That I'd love to see eliminate each other before their conference game.
Well, I know who ain't got a good record. That's FSU, and they lost in North Carolina yesterday. Some I expected, but I don't think North Carolina beat them in a while.
I want to mention this, and I'm sorry to keep popping in like this, but
No,
you hit on something. Have we ever, and I've asked it every week, and I'm going to continue to ask it, have we ever seen a team, especially a program that's been this good for as long as Florida State? They've had bad years, but their program is known for football.
Somewhat relevancy.
Sure, for a long time. And have we ever seen a team go 13-0 to 1-8 or 1-7 like this? I have never seen a single season drop off like this ever. Michigan won a title, and they're going to be lucky to get to a bowl game, but I think they might get to a bowl game. But Florida State ain't even going to bowl. They're already eliminated from bowl games. Like, they're not even going to a bowl game now. We have never seen a team drop off like this before. This is crazy.
That's like, and it's so crazy. The people we was talking about how we live in the moment, how Mike Norvell's name was thrown up as a head coach for Alabama. How at one point we was talking about goddamn getting OC from Clemson to be our OC. Like that's why we as fans it's hard to do, but we gotta stop living in the moment because think about we would got Mike Norvell, and I can't even think about I think
Raleigh. Garrett Riley.
Yeah, Garrett Riley. That's his name. I know him, Riley. Yeah. Think about it. If that was the head coach in the OC of Alabama right now, we would be
I'd have been pissed
on the pitch right now. Man, we'd be so mad.
I seen this comment, man, and I heard some people say this. I don't know how true this is. Jeff Stapleton brought it up, but he was saying that the board took over play calling. I done heard one or two people say that, but I don't know that to be true.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could have happened. Who knows? Could have happened.
I heard
he could have got with his OC and said, hey, let's swap some things around. Let's do some different things. It's hard to say. It really is. Who knows, man? Like, I hear stuff like that, but we hear stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, and I was just about to say that be the stuff I hear it, but I don't really speak on it because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if that was so, that I guess that's the route we probably need to go moving forward. If that was the case, because even though we did beat up Missouri, I still like the things I did see. Even on the defense side, it's so funny how we end up back on Bama. It's so funny. But even with the defense side, the personnel groupings on the defensive line, you starting to see more young guys eat on the defensive line, like Jordan Renard, Edric Hill. These guys are getting snaps. These young guys on the defensive line getting snaps. Like, there's a lot of stuff I've seen out of the game that I would like to see moving forward, regardless of how bad the team was beat up or whatever.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. What else was a good game yesterday, man? We talked about several.
Did y'all watch the Iowa State and Texas Tech game?
I watched highlights. I didn't see the game.
Damn it, Iowa State. I liked that game. I watched that game. That was a good game. Texas Tech at the last minute, they came through and scored at the last little bit, and they pulled the thing off. But I will say, I like to look at games as a fan wise, but yesterday them losses is helping us increase our chances. It's helping us increase our chances, man. Because my guy Gelato, where he's at, where do you think Bama will rank in this new ranking? That's an interesting thing to see because we've seen some teams above us fall.
Yeah.
And to go back to this, saying this, go back to these games. If Georgia, we ain't talk about a Kentucky game and Tennessee game, but if Georgia and Kentucky, if Florida and Kentucky quarterback wasn't hurt yesterday, do you think that would have been another two upsets that would have happened yesterday?
Possibly. It's very, 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 very possible. The true rankings come out Tuesday, right? The bowl, the committee, I think true rankings come out Tuesday. So that's when not the AP poll, but the actual ranking.
Yeah, the college football playoff poll.
Right, and I'm gonna say we probably sit. This is just me guessing, y'all. I don't have no inside track or anything to nothing. You know, it's just me thinking on top of my head. We sitting at 14 in the AP poll. I say we maybe sitting at 12 or 11.
Okay,
that's why I'm gonna put Alabama. I'm gonna try to say 11.
I'd leave them right where they're at. Put them at 15.
Bitch, keep fighting.
Yeah, I gotta see them play. I gotta see them play good against LSU, before I can just start. Don't get me wrong, I root for Alabama always, but they got to do something. You know, like beating up on a weekend Missouri don't prove anything to me. You know, we've got a lot of inconsistencies on both sides of the ball at times this year, so I need to see Alabama go out and play 4 quarters. We ain't done it yet. We ain't had a game yet. We played a complete game, and I still ain't seen it. And I got to see that before I start talking about playoffs now. Because even if they get there, if they're inconsistent, they're going to get put right back out. And, you know, I would rather see us get better and start getting into the playoffs. But that being said, that's just like this guy here says here in his comments. He said a lot of teams are frauds in the top 10. There are some frauds out there. You know, kind of like Missouri hit in the top 10 for a little while there, and then they started getting exposed a little bit.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to say one thing. When we were talking about Florida State, and have we ever seen a 1-year turnaround like that? And just that episode, LSU won the national championship next year, 3-9. No, the next year was the COVID year, was 2020. They went 5-5. Then the next year, I think they went like 6-6, and they fired Orgeron before the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they fell off, but they didn't fall off like Florida State's fell off.
Florida,
this
yeah,
crazy. Like winning 8 is wild.
Yes, that's crazy. They even looking at Florida State, just like you saying, Florida State like this is like,
yeah, even during some of their down periods in the 20 teams in between national championship teams, they didn't look this bad.
Yeah,
they look
how you go from getting a raise extension or whatever to down to being on the hot seat. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I really don't believe he was ever considered at Alabama. I think his agent I think his agent threw his name out there to get him some money, and poor Florida State bit the hook. And now, you know, let's see what happens. Like with the way transfer portals are and everything else, he may can get the right kind of talent in and turn them around next year and then be in the playoffs again. We don't know. Like, this is a wild west of college football. We've never seen this type of football before with this many open doors and abilities to get players really fat. Look at Indiana's turnaround in a year. Even if they lose the rest of their games, they're 9-3 at the worst.
Yeah.
So look at the turnaround in 1 year that you can do with the coach, but the talent. Like, it's crazy. Like, you can really turn things around fast if you can get the right kind of players in. It's a wild west of football.
And I'm glad you brought Indiana. It's so crazy that, you know, through all this chaos, this craziness, and we talk about the rankings at some point, but we still not officially giving Indiana the top in the country type credit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know what the rankings going to look like, but as far as talking wise, we're not talking about that enough, in my opinion.
There's another team that's not being really talked about. Colorado.
Ooh, second. They tied for second in the Big 12.
Yep.
They're not been talked about, like, you know, as far as a playoff team. You know, you hear about it's almost like Colorado plays this first. Oh, they won. Okay, cool. What they gonna do against him? Oh, they won. But it's like it's in, you know, it's not
brushing it off. Like,
right. Let's be honest. I think I know why. I think Deion rubbed people the wrong way because he did things his own way, just like he did as a player. And some people either love it or they hate it. I fall in between it. I can respect him when he does something good, and I'll call him out when he does something bad. But I respect him as a person. Like, I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good father for sure.
Right.
You know, like, I've heard people tear him down as a father and this and that, and I'm like, y'all are stupid. Like, why are we attacking the man on a personal basis? Like, clearly his sons are successful already. He's done a pretty good job.
Right.
But you know, they have. I'm glad you brought them up because they have played really good football right now. They've gotten better running the ball. Their play calling's gotten better. Their offensive line's still a little bit weak, but they have gelled better than they were. I think there's no doubt about it. Their defense looks a lot better than they did a year ago. So as a coach, if you've improved your team, have you not done a better job? So I think it's time to give him his props here because they won 4 games last year, and it just kind of looked like daddy ball. Like we're just going to let Shiloh chuck it up, and we're going to do this and that, And now they're an all-around good football team, and they're playing good ball, and they have a chance to not only compete but win their conference and be in a playoff spot. They're sitting in the seat to control that right now almost. And let's give them their due, man, because it's easy to tear them down, but they have improved. He's done his job as a coach.
Right. Just like we, as Alabama fans, kind of got a little antsy about the boy. And once we sat back and took a breath and realized, hey man, this is this guy's first year. We got to give him a chance. We can't just, this is first year. We got to give him a chance to get his foot in. And like I said, these players, a lot of these players are saving players. He had to kind of come in and save some people from hitting the portal to kind of salvage what he could. And so we only had 2 losses. That's great. I mean, if we went out, that'll be the same record we had 2 years ago when we lost against Tennessee. If we went out. So
sure,
we act like we are sitting at the bottom of the barrel, like we Florida State record. So, but the same grace that we give Kalen DeBoer or Norvell or any new head coach, Elko and Tamu and anybody else who's new, we had to give that grace to Dion as well, because it's just his second year. Right. And each year, they have won more games. Each year. Like you said, it's because he does it the way he wants to do it. He don't play by anybody's rules. But he's not breaking the rules.
No, and there's more than one way to win. Like, you compare all these great coaches from the past, and they didn't all do it the same way.
Right.
Like not all great coaches in the NFL have all won the same way. Like, I've heard people, talk bad about our coach because of what he wears or something, and then you turn around and you see Belichick at the Patriots with a cut-off hoodie, looking like a bum. I mean, it's like the dude be begging for change out in the street.
Yeah. Like
and he will go out and destroy you with his defense and just a mastermind of football knowledge. It doesn't matter. I could care less. I'm not one to judge a man by how he dresses anyways. That's female tendencies. I ain't getting into that. I could care less what you wear. Can you get the job done? Let's do that. Right. That's what matters to me. And like you said, if we're going to give our coach and other coaches grace, we got to give Coach Prime or Deion Sanders grace, and he's done a good job right now. He has got his team into a bowl game. This was a team that won 1 ball game 2 years ago. Won 4 ball games last year, and now they're already bowl eligible. And like we talked about, they have a chance to not only contend for the Big 12, but possibly a playoff spot. Let's give him some dap for that. He deserves it.
Right. So, and when you talk about that, what he did, as far as you talking about improvement, every improvement from winning 1 game to winning whatever amount of games to this year, it's improvement.
Yeah, that's what a coach does. People look at what Nick Saban did in 2 to 3 years and think that's the standard. It's not. That was astronomical. Like, you putting the bar too high for everybody. Nobody's situations are the same. Caliber of players, the way that the athletic director and the university work with Saban's different than a lot of schools. Like, it's not fair to compare that, man. Like, lightning struck there. Like, it's just
everything lined up perfectly, and we got to give Saban his credit. Now,
he's the greatest coach of all time.
Right. But to put his standards on everyone else is just not fair to everyone else.
No, it's not fair because everybody's situation is not the same. Right. It's easy to play what ifs, but what if Saban had never went here or went there and this didn't work out? Like, there's so many things that could be said. Like, there's a lot of luck in winning a national championship too. People don't realize that. Injury bug don't hit your team like it hits other teams. big plays, moments that you never forget. The ball just falls right for somebody, or like just there's so much that plays into it. Look at that 09 year, like Mark Ingram and the Wildcat against South Carolina, and just continuing to get the job done because we look bad in that ball game. Or Mount Cody don't block the kick against Tennessee. Like there's so many what ifs. It was like we went out there and beat everybody 50-0 and marched into the national championship. It's a lot of luck and strategy, and that's what's the beauty about football, because if you just played it on paper, the most talented teams would win every year, but it don't work out that way.
Hey, I want to bring up this point. So we talking about Colorado. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna change the dynamics for Colorado out of the way. They went out, not even have to win out, just want to be in the bowl game, just finish out the season. However, they in the bowl game, win the bowl game. But if they can flip Juju Lewis,
yes,
they can get Juju Lewis, and right now that is looking so possible.
I think it's gonna happen.
I think so too. Now that was really changed the dynamics of Colorado recruiting. Far as you to have Shiloh come through, your son come through, put it up. Now you done got a recruit that's he gonna be the future for Colorado. He probably gonna be a day one starter from the time he commits, he probably gonna be that guy. Cause Juju Lewis is like that. Now you do have to see what it looks like when he gets to the college level, but I think he's in a conference where it's gonna give him that time to be able to figure it out early and fast. Like if D ain't gonna pull this flip out, we gonna be really talking about. People talking about Colorado, negative or positive, whatever way, we're going to be talking about Colorado even more. We're going to continue to talk about Colorado.
It's like you've always heard, too, though. Sometimes bad press is just as good as good press, as long as somebody's talking about you. If your name's out there enough, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that anybody's talking about you at all is just as good. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Like, the recruits don't care about all that noise that's getting talked about on ESPN, or somebody don't like Deion because of how he presents himself. They don't care about none of that, man. Like, if you can get them the bag and they like the culture and the atmosphere and they know they can go there and shine, especially as a quarterback. You looking at Colorado right now and you get to look at how Deion's son got to do, and you're thinking, man, I could put up some numbers here. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and look at, like, the people on the sidelines and the stuff they get in the locker room, and like they get to meet all these celebrities, and you get to play for an absolute legend, possibly the greatest cornerback of all time, arguably. So yeah, there's a lot of things that factor into it, and he starts putting that together. It's gonna be fun to watch and see what happens with Colorado, man.
And we talk about all this stuff that's the problem with college football today, all these distractions. However we feel about it, this is what the kids like. So damn, what we talk about, that's what the kids
if it's working for them, it don't make a damn if we like it or not. It's working for them. Like he will pass other programs by and be like, yeah, y'all didn't like it, but look where we're at and look at where y'all are at. It doesn't matter. Find what works for you. It doesn't matter if it works somewhere else or not. If it works for you, that's all that matters.
And we see the trend throughout history. Our parents didn't care for what they probably had going on. They didn't use it. And
our parents didn't care for what we have.
It's a whole trend. So at the end of the day, so what?
I was listening to my daughter and them, and son be listening to music. I'm like, man, wasn't it? It was that crap y'all listening to. But at the same time, I'd be like, that's the same thing my dad used to say to me.
Same thing.
Same thing, like rock, people like back in the day when rock and roll really took off, and I'm not talking about Little Richard days. I'm talking about when it started. Oh, think about it. Let's go to Elvis. They when they show Elvis from the waist down, that was like, oh my God, you can't do that. You can't. That's horrible, right? To what we are today, things going to continue to change. We may not like it or whatever, but I always say I never want to be that grumpy old man sitting here complaining about everything. And this is what I hate about us as people. Like when we become self-righteous, just because somebody doesn't do something that we like or we deem the way we would do it or whatever, we want to outcast or call that person some kind of name or this and that. And, they got long hair, they got this and this and this. Well, if the picture is, if that's what Jesus really looked like in the churches, then he had long hair and a beard. So He looked like Van in the church to me. He just didn't have his hat on back.
Better actions though.
I don't think they didn't have no Polaroid, they didn't have no selfie back then. So I don't put a picture with what Jesus looked like, period. But I'm just saying, we put our conditions on people, and that just ain't right. When Deion had flipped Travis Hunter at Jackson State, I remember that day. I remember that time of day like it was, bro. Everybody like they didn't know what to say. They were stuck because they just knew they were about to say Florida State, and it wasn't Florida State. He signed with Jackson State.
Yep,
in the world, and it looked like they didn't hate the Deion ever since. I'm just saying that's just my opinion. Like they didn't hate that man ever since. This man that took somebody away from Power 5, they took him to a small school in Jackson, Mississippi, of all places.
Remember when they went through a water shortage there for a while, and they couldn't even shower and stuff. Like he was making sure kids had what they needed. Like he looked out for his boys. Like he calls out his own sons when they don't play well. Like there's a lot can be said about Deion, man. Like I don't know why we just decided to all collectively hate him all of a sudden. Because when I was growing up, he was the coolest guy on earth. Like we all wanted to be Deion Sanders. Like I was a little kid when he was at the Falcons. He made you watch the Falcons. Like back then, Falcons didn't have a lot.
He was Vic before Vic.
Yeah, this is before Vic. This is before the Dirty Birds in '98 when they went to the Super Bowl. He made between him and Andre Bad Moon Rising and some of those other cats. They made you watch the Falcons, and nobody really gave a shit about the Falcons back then. Not my area, anyways. It wasn't like the Braves. Because you had a little more options in the South for football than you did baseball. And then he was a dual sport athlete, and he was cocky at times. And he's talked about how until he found the Lord, it was different for him, and he changed his life. But we need to clean up around our own doorsteps before we start worrying about how other people do it. Because a lot of people that's talking about how he's being successful right now ain't never had any success in their life. So it's just kind of weird. Like it's easy for me to sit here with no coaching ability and wasn't a great college football player or anything like that to knock them. And if you're in the public limelight, you're allowed to be criticized. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, you've got to turn around, and when people have improved, you've got to give them the credit. If you're going to tear them down, you've also got to be fair enough to turn around when they're doing good and give them the props.
Hey, I believe my opinion matters because I did win the championship in flag football. As a coach,
hey, I grew up country. We didn't even have punt, pass, and kick competitions. They wasn't none of that stuff. But they didn't have flag football. We was out here tackling trees, but it was crazy out here.
I'm taking credit, not telling all of it. I had a kid that came on the team that was on the team that I even have to coach. They got this team in Georgia. You probably heard of them called Rare Breeze.
Yep.
Look, he play on that team. He played for my son. He played on that team, and they be making highlights about him. They're comparing this boy to Travis Hunter. Now let's talk about him at 4 and 5. He don't play on the team that I didn't have to coach. You just get back here and do what you do. You just stand on the field, sir.
Eric D. By the way, Eric D said something in the comments that I like. He said, coaches go to the highest bidder. Why shouldn't the kids do the same? Now, there's an argument that can be said that sometimes that does slow down your development when you jump in the transfer portal every year to another team. And there's a few examples of that, but that's not necessarily what everybody's doing. But to go out and get your money while you can get it, I think sadly, that's the American way, guys. We've all done it. If a job down the street that you're qualified to do is going to pay you $10,000 more a year, guess what? You're probably going to go to it because you've got a family and bills to take care of. Yeah. We all are motivated in life. Everybody's like, oh, football, money's ruined college football. Maybe it's ruined certain aspects of it, or maybe we just over romanticized what it was because there ain't many players that's going to turn down a check. And that's what we all do in life. We're money motivated, whether you want to admit it.
Hey, man, I just went to another job recently. because of money. So
I've done it many times, buddy, and I'll do it many more times in my life. I guarantee you. Like I ain't married to no company. I'm married to my wife, and it's my job to get the most money for my family.
right.
And my wife like nice shit. And same thing to say. I damn do too. I like buying. Sound crazy, y'all. Might sound crazy, y'all, but I like buying $200 colognes and stuff.
Hey man, whatever your
Just one of my vices. Do I sacrifice?
You work
when
for
I
your
do
money.
it?
I ain't gonna tell you how to spend it.
You know what I said? Do I sacrifice when I do it? Yes. Do I have the moment where I'm like, damn, I want this shit so bad, I can't do it. I like Jordans. I have moments where I can do it, then I have moments I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But there's things I like. But this Bryce Underwood kid, so when we talk about money, I don't know if y'all been paying attention to his recruitment. He's an LSU commit right now, one of the top quarterbacks in the net. But right now, it's going on with him. It's really these teams are literally putting together the best NIL package, LSU and Michigan right now, to see who's gonna get him. And Michigan look like it ain't came out said it, but Michigan look like they doing a good job right now in persuading this kid to probably flip from LSU to Michigan.
Tom Reed, exactly.
I can't say that. I can't say that about mine. I'm the irresponsible one in my family. Like my wife can budget things out and stuff, and then I'll be looking at him like, damn, I feel like I need this.
My wife is the financial advisor. She likes nice shit, but she gonna go to goddamn on cheapest route, the saving this way. It'll be me to be one of the fuck up the bag.
But you know, like think about this too with these guys that's coming out of high school. Like for instance, where I live, where I grew up at, where like, you know, it's small, it's local, everybody knows everybody. There's no national attention on anything that's going on in your area ever. Yeah. And can you imagine all of a sudden all these big colleges are courting you and you're on ESPN making a decision live in front of everybody? People are paying you millions of dollars, and y'all don't want these kids to be celebrating that? Like, that's crazy. We would all love that, man. Could you imagine that at 18 years old that, you know, let's say, for instance, Nick Saban wanted you, and, you know, Sweeney wanted you, and Kirby Smart wanted you, and you about to make money. You ain't never had money, and you're going to go to college and be on your own for the first time. So you're getting that experience, you know. There's so many things that play into this. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, let these kids live a little bit, man. Like, they may not ever have this much money or attention in their life again, or this much fun, because when the real world hits you, it hits you fast, you know.
Yep.
And man, let them have this moment. Let them have it.
Yeah.
When Ryan Williams was going through his recruitment, you know, some of the fans started feeling some type of way because he going to all these places. That man is from Sarah, Alabama, bro. That man is from Sarah, Alabama. You got that going right off and they're going to entertain all these goddamn.
Listen, bro.
Yes.
How many visits you get? Like official visits? Is it 5?
I really forgot how many, but I know what you're saying. Like,
I'm taking all of them.
And let's talk about the ones that they ain't talking about. Cause we all know this stuff happens. Let's talk about the ones they ain't talking about.
Right.
I'm going for it's an unofficial visit. God damn it, it's official.
Right.
Official to me.
Right.
Listen,
they got something official because you don't supposed to be there on their dime.
Yep.
But you know somebody paid for it. You know what I'm saying? That's how.
And I don't blame them. Yeah, like me, I had barely ever left the state at 18 years old, maybe one time. Like, I can't imagine, like, getting to go to, man, you're going to get to fly to Ohio State's humongous campus, or Austin, Texas, and like all these crazy places, Miami, Florida. Man, I would have took every single visit I could have had, and then the ones under the table too, because I would want to experience that.
Yeah, like, bro, listen, I probably gonna never get to go to this place again. So, you know, I'm going, and also I'm gonna throw this in. You know, what the people talking about, you know, the money as far as the kids getting the money. We gotta look at it like this. All these kids ain't gonna make it to the NFL.
No, they absolutely will not.
So, you know, you can take a chance right now and get the highest bid. You go to the highest bidder, right? And if you, unfortunately, everybody's not gonna be this way because everybody's not business savvy. But these kids are different than we were when we were younger because these kids have agents. So they're gonna tell them what to do to make their money work for them. listen, you might want to just take the stock options. You know, if somebody offer you stock options instead of actual cold hard cash, right? The stock option.
Remember when Michael Jordan did that?
You did that with the Nike. Hey, we can't pay you what Adidas is paying or whatever, but we can offer you stock.
And that
But
made
you gotta
him
have somebody in your
billionaire.
corner to be like, you got to look at the long run versus right now.
Right.
You know,
like that's the thing about it. Like, I wish these colleges would do more, that the NCAA would step up and do more to embrace the situation these players are in with financial advisors on campus. Like, make sure these kids realize what's in front of them and what they could potentially do with this money for the rest of their life. Like, I want these kids to get paid this. Now let's see what we can help them to keep it. Because some of it's generational wealth. That'll change your family and your family's family. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of these guys are making some real money. But what don't get talked about is the 90% of college football players that really ain't making that much. We just hear about the high numbers.
Right.
So, like, I don't understand why everybody's so mad about. Like, you think guys are less motivated to make when they make this money? Impossibly. But at the same time, they're going to go pro. And when you see guys that do good at the NFL level, they're making more money than this. So it's a mentality thing. That's never going to change. There was guys getting paid well before NIL was legal.
Tom Reed, I agree with you, and I disagree in a way, because there's a 30 for 30 that showed that have the NFL and the NBA, when say out of the league 3-4 years, they're broke. And we're talking grown men.
Grown men.
They're absolutely broke.
Some people that had really good NBA careers. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I can name one. The Trail Freewell.
Yeah.
That's just one. And then we can go name millions more. They don't understand. They don't have financial literacy. They don't understand money, right? But when I'm gonna say this, Tom Reed, and maybe you can understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, a lot of people don't like you. A lot of people don't think Miro Rose is gonna be a quarterback in the NFL, right? A lot of people, y'all call him Jalen Mildew and all these different names. So let's say that all the people who said that Jalen is a running back playing quarterback. Let's say you're right. Everybody who said it is right. He's not a quarterback. He's not an NFL quarterback, and he's never going to make it in the NFL. Why won't you get your money now? You follow where I'm trying to go with this?
Yes.
Well, I'm trying to say, if he's not going to make it in the NFL, he can take the money that he's making right now and do things with it. I don't think he comes from a stupid family. I think his family's military, and they kind of have some kind of financial literacy where they can be like, hey man, listen, you ain't gonna take all this money and go buy a Range Rover and a $2 million home. That don't make sense. But what you can do is invest in things of that nature. So just in case he don't make it, he don't get drafted. Let's say he don't get drafted, right? He don't make it in the NFL, or he get drafted and he don't make the cut. He get cut, in preseason,
crazy
or whatever.
Injury, anything can happen.
He could take that money and do a lot of other things with it. Whereas if it was no NIL deal for him, he would have just been out. You need to go look at Marvin Constance talk about getting hurt.
Yep.
And you see your NFL career disappear before your eyes.
Yeah. My bad.
And then all the people that was cheering you on and nowhere around you. The phone calls not coming in. You still got those doctor bills. You got all that type of stuff that you got to deal with. Not to mention the mental aspect of it, because you knew at the point this was going to be great in the NFL, but you don't make it. That messes with you. That messes with you. Because everything you don't work for from Pee Wee League, from middle school to high school, even as you're in the college, it's taken away. That was your dream. That was your butter, your grits and gravy, all that type of stuff, and it's knocked out away from you. And them guys back then didn't even have them. They couldn't even make the money. So now you can make the money. I'm not saying that it doesn't affect things. I agree with you guys on that end, but it's here. So it is what it is. We're gonna have to deal with it. I don't like the transfer. The transfer part of my problem, to be honest with you. That's my thing.
Yeah.
The jumping from team to year 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 to year. You've been in the college 4 years and you paid for 16. That's the crazy part to me.
Because you're hurting your own development.
Right.
A good football player ain't gonna transfer at will. I'm gonna do like Kevin said. You might well, if I was Bryce Young, I'd transfer every year. I would. My back gonna get bigger and bigger. Who cares about the NFL? This is me. This is me talking about who cares about the NFL? Because I'm gonna be rich enough to goddamn gonna be able to make it all now.
And I'm gonna beat my body up and barely be able to get around at 38 years old. Like,
exactly.
No, you're like, but and I see what Tom Reed's saying right here. There's a lot of guys that are broke well before 30. There's guys that are broke at 23, man. There's guys that are in the league right now that are broke, that are living paycheck to paycheck, whether it be through alimony, child support. Their family members prey on them and get them to make bad investments and do this and that and another. Like, and we're seeing guys now like, did y'all see where Kendrick Perkins is going to have some kind of NIL collective in the college football where they will front you the money, but you owe them a percentage? So now we're getting these predatory type loans. It looks like a balloon payment that you would have seen during COVID for a housing payment, those balloon type payments. We're seeing predatory loans hit college football. So these kids are about to get taken advantage of. And I hope none of them, like, I hope they stay away from it. But yeah, like some people are never going to learn lessons. That's the sad part. I understand that. That's been everywhere at every level, at any job or career or sport, all time. It doesn't matter. Some people just don't learn, but some people were never educated on it. And can you imagine, like you talked about Marvin Constant, who was going to be a first-round linebacker, who gave his body against LSU, and it cost him. But he left everything on the field at all times.
Yep.
And then you turn around and you stated that the people that's cheering for you, they disappear. Those lights ain't bright no more. Your football career is over. Now the money that you knew you was going to make's not there. Those people aren't there. You've got to deal with you just thrown into a normal society, and you were this close to being elite. You were this close to being rich. You were this close to being famous, and now you've got to physically you've got a problem, but now mentally you've got a problem. And I don't know that I could have ever worked my way through that. Being this close to knocking on the door, to being in the NFL and having everything I ever wanted, and now school's over, I'm still beat and banged up, and my career's done. I don't know if I could have handled that mentally. Like, people don't talk about these things enough, like what mentally can happen to people.
And
it's
like
sad.
when he talked about it, like he said, when you live with all the medical bills, the messed up knee treatment, guess who there? Your mama. Your mama is the only one that's there.
If you're lucky.
Not even the people in the locker room you with. Not even the people that, if you lucky about your mom, like, you're right. There's some of them people, mamas that be right. The reason why they're making bad decisions. They looking for the highest bidder as well. But in the end, you left alone with all this stress and all this.
Sorry, man. Go ahead.
No. And the scholarship going too.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with you. You are a cog in the machine, just like we all are at our jobs. We like to think we're something. We're nothing. They will replace you tomorrow. And these college kids, they're going to replace you tomorrow. In the NFL, would you start losing a tenth of your speed, and this happens, they replace you tomorrow. In fact, they're trying to replace you while you're still in your prime most of the time. They're already drafting ahead because they get a rookie in on a softer contract and lock him in for 4 or 5 years to do your job at a cheaper rate. So to me, these colleges have made billions of dollars off these athletes that really didn't make a whole lot of money, if any, in certain situations in the past. And it's hard for me to defend the machine, man. Like, I just can't do it. Like, they didn't mind making money off the backs of people, but then when it gets turned around, we don't want to stick up for the people that actually deserve the money. And we see this in life a lot, not just football, but in jobs, period. People like defend the job over the person.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I don't get that, man.
And it's crazy. This is the point I'm bringing up to my son, because he asked me about whatever happened to such type players. I said, I'm going to tell you how this thing go down, bro. You might get recruited to a school. You might be a highest ranked player coming out that year, but the next guy that recruiting at your position is the highest ranked recruit ever.
Sure.
Always flexible, bro. You always
imagine I'm a Kenneth Darby type coming out of college that looks like a serviceable running back, and then the next guy coming out next year is Adrian Peterson.
Right.
Big gap, big difference. Yeah, you better make it while you can.
And also, people like, well, the kids are getting a free, they're getting scholarship, room and board, and this. Yeah, that's cool. But like I said, once you get into the scholarship is over.
And this
money to pay is done.
That's pennies to $1 million. Let's be honest with it. That's pennies to $1 million. That's pennies to $1 million. Yes, right. It is a good lump sum of it, but how much? That's why the college football games had to go away, because how much money was being generated just through that alone? Through that alone.
When Nick Saban was at Alabama, and they paid him how much a year towards the end of his career? Like $12-14 million, something up there. Right. And I would remember hearing people say nobody's worth that much money. But when you're generating the state of Alabama, because Alabama's a state school, when you're generating the state of Alabama hundreds of millions to billions of dollars, yeah, you're worth every damn penny of it. In fact, you could say he was underpaid. And it was 80-something guys there that helped him get to that level every year. Okay? So they deserve a piece of that pie too.
Hey, yeah, he talked out at $11.5 million, but we ain't talking about the back end shit neither. We ain't talking about all this endorsement. That just his coaching contract. He's not even long, you know what I'm saying? So, Riser, I'm gonna ask you this. How much has Alabama football, especially with the Saban area, how much has it boosted the economy of Tuscaloosa with you being from there?
God.
Listen, let me tell you. Okay. Don't take this, knowing that I don't live in Alabama anymore, but I still own a house that I grew up in Tuscaloosa, right? So my house is maybe 15 minutes to the stadium. Maybe. On a good day, no traffic. 10-15 minutes, right? Because Tuscaloosa ain't the biggest place in the world. If you know anything about Tuscaloosa, it's not a big city. So growing up, well, my high school is Central High School East, where I graduated from. Is overflow for Alabama parking. Like this, if you go to Alabama game, it's a good chance that you're going to park in Central High School right off 15th Street and either walk over, because it's maybe 2 blocks, 3 blocks down, or they have shuttles, whatever the case may be. All that stuff that I've been gone 30 years, all that stuff when I was there was Tuscaloosa. Now that's all the UA. You might well say Central High School is part of UA. All that stuff UA on all that. Man, the UA out. We have DCH. Mm-hmm. The only thing that out, and I don't even think outdoes University of Alabama is generating money, is Mercedes-Benz plant. The University of Alabama is generating more money than the Mercedes-Benz car manufacturer.
Top of the line car manufacturer.
I'm saying if it's not, it's neck and neck. I'm just being honest with you. That's how much money that place generates, man. Sure. Just listen. I still have family there, and this is God honest truth. Maybe 2 years ago, Miles McVay and Rob Montgomery were being recruited. Mm-hmm. I had a high school reunion. It was 2022 when it was a high school reunion, right? We had that reunion maybe in May, end of May, the 1st of June, right? And sometimes when I go, I have my house rented out, right? So I can go stay with family, or sometimes I don't. You don't want to be bothered with family, whatever. You don't want to be a burden on nobody. You get a hotel. Yeah. So me and my wife got a hotel. right off 15th in McFarland, right there by the University Mall. I want to say it was a Holiday Inn. I'm not really. I think it's a Holiday Inn, and we made pay $119 a night. I was down there from Friday night. We left Sunday. Right. I met Rock Montgomery, and I met Young J. Pierre, Rock Montgomery, and Miles McVeigh. You know, they were coming to the school for something. Right. I met them, and they was in the same. We was in the same hotel. Fast forward to October, same year, my high school Central was having a homecoming, and they were doing this big homecoming thing, right? So all the classes are coming because Central is a combination of two schools.
Yeah,
you had Druid City High School, was the all black school back in the day, and you had Tuscaloosa High School, which was the white school. And when segregation ended, they put those two schools together and became Central, right? So we got Central came about in 81, 82 is when Central became a school. So you got classes from 80 to 81 all the way up to 20, whatever, the last class that's coming. So the homecoming thing was a big thing, right? So a lot of people coming in town. But Alabama had a home game that weekend, and they were playing none other than Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt. I might care about Vanderbilt. Anyway, that same hotel that was like $119 a night 3-4 months earlier was costing me like $500 a night.
Yep.
It was like 400 and some change, 480 something. You know, I would end up paying damn near $1,000 to be there 2 days when I just paid $300 a couple of, you know what I'm saying, a couple of months ago, 2-3 months earlier. I'm telling you, man, that's it. That school generates so much money. It employs so many people in the Tuscaloosa area that is crazy. So the back end, which we don't see. Let's not forget about concessions.
Ooh,
yeah.
How
parking.
Much?
You know what I'm
saying? And when you bring in the family, like I used to take my family to the 8-day game. I don't know why kids get hungry and thirstier when you're away from home, but they get hungry and thirstier. So you in the game, you trying to buy a popcorn, you realize, damn it, I ain't getting a popcorn. Y'all can just buy the popcorn. Now everybody get the popcorn. Now they thirsty as shit.
Yes, sir. That's all. When
you leave there, they hungry as shit. They gotta eat.
The sun to drain you
during and after.
Listen, you out there in the sun to drain you. The popcorn, and you know, just popcorn. One box of popcorn in the sunny water is gonna cost you about $12. You know, a bottle of water and some popcorn gonna cost you about $12.
Listen, I get what people be saying. I just feel like I feel like it should be a different way. Like how I thought of it. Of course, I ain't nobody. It should be contracted. All right. If I'm giving you 8 meals, let's divide this 8 meals into 4 years. Okay.
Or 3.
Or 3. Yeah, whatever. However you do it. And get a little incentive. You know what I'm saying? I just 8 meals to get more. First year, you do this. If you stay, you do this. If you do this, you get this too. Second year, if you do this, stay, do this. Third year, if you stay, do this, get this. If you decide to transfer, you voided your contract. You know what I'm saying? You voided your contract. You don't get the whole 8 meals. You get what you got there. If you decide to go to, now if you do 3 years and you draft eligible, I would have to be your bonus for putting up draft eligible numbers. You can get the whole thing, but I just went give it to them straight up, flat out 8 million. And I don't know if they do it like that. That's what we don't know neither. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they do it, honestly.
I'm just throwing out something out here, like, because I've not been in these board meetings, you know, and I can't break down the numbers. It would be nice, realistically, to maybe say you have to graduate with a degree before you can touch that money. That would be kind of cool, just because they would force everybody to get that education, which would better them for the rest of their lives. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's looking out for the player. It may not seem like it when you're 20, but it is looking out for you long term, because once the sport ends, whether it happens when you're 22 or 42, you've got something to fall on.
Actually, go ahead, Nick.
Damn that, I'm going to the USFL then.
and that could happen, and that definitely could happen. Like,
no, I see what you're saying.
It would be cool because that's actually looking out for the kids. You wouldn't feel like it if you were 19 and wanted all that money at one time.
You don't see that point, but when you get older like we are, we're like, damn.
But I also don't have a problem with teams expecting, like you said, putting stipulations in contracts, certain quotas, whether it be X number of sacks, or you have to start X amount of games in a season, or throw for X amount of touchdowns, like almost like a pro contract. Like you've got to meet certain standards. Like I don't have a problem with that either, because like you still got the opportunity to make it. You just got to play really well to get it. Hey, why not?
Just from being there, because you committed, a lot of them offering NIL because what you didn't have. So just from being there, you would get this base. But if you get there and get these, if you put up this type of numbers, you can get this. That's your little incentive.
Right. And I think all of us and Tom Reed might have just met in the middle now. I think we're all kind of in the same spot, because he said, yep, man, at least part of it up front, then the rest on the back end. I got no problem with that. Give them a give them a good chunk of it they can live off of and enjoy themselves, and then say, hey, you've got to do this, and you definitely have to get your degree. I don't care if you get it in 3 years or 4 or 5. You've got to get that degree before you move on if you want the rest of this money. And then everybody's taken care of. You've got what you paid for, and they've got plenty of money to live on, and they've got a backup plan if football don't work out. So I think that would help both sides.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, that's why I love y'all in the chat, because it ain't us trying to knock out what y'all say, and it ain't y'all trying to knock out what we say. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like it right there.
No, it created a great discussion earlier. Look, we've went 25 minutes on this, and there's still plenty you can talk about. So no, we're not trying to argue with anybody. This is a great discussion.
I want to go back to something Van said earlier about the predatory lending. Man, they need to cut that out.
Yes,
there should be a law against that, because back in the day, there used to be like when kids go to school, you don't have to be an athlete or anything. You could go to school. There used to be credit card companies on the campuses of the school offering kids credit cards, right? These kids are college freshmen and stuff. They ain't got no job. How you think they're going to pay this money back? And so they signing up for these credit cards, not thinking like, I got to pay this back, and they don't really understand interest. Sure. I'm going to be honest. Listen, I'm going to talk from a black guy's perspective, from the South, whose parents were just hard workers. They didn't know. This is my dad's advice, my mom's advice to me. And God, I love them, God bless them. But they knew what they knew. And it wasn't their fault.
Yeah.
It wasn't, they didn't push me to go to college. Do you want to go to college? If you do, we can try to figure some stuff out. You can go whatever what you want to do. You can go to trade school, or you can get out and go to the work field. You can go to the service. It wasn't, that's all they knew. They come from humble beginnings in small town Alabama. Their parents were sharecroppers. Sure. Their grandparents were slaves, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But their grandparents, my great grandparents, were probably fucking slaves, or just on the end of slavery. Yeah. So my parents, my dad grew up real poor. My dad just happened to just be a hard worker, and he worked his way up. And he never extended himself more than he never overextended himself. Yeah, like I'm never going to live beyond my means. I'm not going to do anything like that. So he didn't know about interest rates and stuff. He had bought a house and all, but he wasn't financially savvy to tell me, hey man, investments. My dad didn't know about no investments. They didn't know about stocks and bonds and maybe put a little money here. They was like, go to work, save your money, and don't overspend. That's all they knew to tell me. I learned a little bit, and I told my kids something different. What I learned. But they had these kids on campus. They had these people on campus with credit card companies, and offering these financially inept students credit cards. And these kids, this money on the card, I can just go swipe. Yeah,
Sure.
that swipe is gonna cost you more than what the sticker price is.
Yeah.
You might have bought something for $20, but you don't realize that they paying
And you're
more
just
than
paying
$20
the principal every month, and you're not even, and the interest is just stacking, and you don't understand any of that. I didn't understand that at a young age because I come from very similar background as you. My great grandparents were farmers. Like, they didn't own a farm, but they worked for farmers, and my grandparents worked for farmers. And then, my dad worked for the city for like 50 years before he passed away. And my mom's always been a hard worker, working 2-3 jobs and stuff. And we come from that blue collar background. And like the first time I went to buy a car, I'd never been educated on interest rates. I didn't know anything about it. Didn't come from that world. We didn't invest. We didn't have stock options, dude. We were stacking up what little money we had. We never lived above our means, and we didn't own anything that was flashy, man. We were living. That's just how we live. And I went and got a car, and I didn't understand interest rates, and they took my ass to the cleaner. And I ain't ashamed to admit it. I got tore up. Like, my interest rate, guys, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know a damn thing about it. They eat me alive.
Listen, bro, my dad never bought a car from a dealership ever.
My dad didn't either. And I thought I was going to be the big boy of the family and do something and go buy a new car.
Bro, man, he never. Hey, if it wasn't on the side of a road or somebody parked in somebody's front yard or something like that, you know what I'm saying? If he can go down to the bank and just take out a small little loan and buy something, he wasn't going to do it.
When I was growing up, my dad never bought it. I never remember a vehicle we ever owned that probably cost him more than $2 or $3 grand. And that was on the high end. That was on the high end. And you know what Van does now after buying a new car that time and paying those kind of rates? I don't ever own a car that costs more than $3, $4, $5 grand. And I've just learned how to service it on my own and work on it on my own, and I keep it rolling. I'll never do it again. It burnt me so bad, I'll never do it again.
Sears got me, right? So I'm in Georgia. I'm a young man. I'm working. I go to Sears and get a little money. And I bought a washing machine, right?
I was in the camera.
You waving at me.
Hello. But I went to Sears, got a washing machine, right? I never forget this. $499. Now we had a mall, it's still up down here called South Lake Mall. It was right down the street from where I work, right? And we go there to eat a lot of time during the day. So what I would do, man, I wouldn't even look at the bill, right? I would just go once a Friday. I knew what my payment was, and I would go, not just go in the mall and pay. And let's say I think the payment was $21 a month or something. And I go in there getting people $24 or whatever. And I just been paying for years, man. Going in and just paying and paying. Not looking at the statement, just paying and paying and paying. So one day I went in and I asked the lady, I was like, because I go pay at the counter. I pull out my card, pay. I was like, man, I've been paying on this for years. If that thing went before $4.99, I should be done about paying for this thing right now, right? She said, let me look at your balance. Man, she said, you owe like $800 something. I said, wait a minute. They ain't up with go $4.99. I know I've been paying for 3 years. What you mean? She said, she was an older white lady, and she pulled my coattail. She said, listen, baby, let me tell you something. You come in here every month, and you pay this $21. That's the bare minimum, and that's what you have to pay, and maybe $2 of that going towards your principal. Everything else is interest. Let me tell you what you do. You come in here and you pay that $21, and if you can afford the next week, come in and you give me another $20 and you tell me this is for principal only. Or if you can afford to pay more, pay the $21 for this, and then turn around and put another $20, and you'll see it come down. And I did that for about a year, and I had paid it all. And then Sears come. Listen, I didn't even realize my interest was 21%. She told me what my interest rate was.
I didn't even know what that was, man. I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't have a clue.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you too. I'm gonna tell you they apply on young military guys like that too. But I'm gonna tell you, the first time I got a loan, I needed some money. Why? Because my wife, y'all just seen, it was Mother's Day. It was her first Mother's Day, and I ain't had no money. I was blowing money, so I went and got a loan. And how they get you is, I'm paying it back. But what they do with the loans is, hey, you can keep this payment and you can upgrade your loan and keep your payment and get this. I'm so broke. I'm like, bet that sounds so good because I'm paying them back. But when I'm paying you back, I need that money. I need it. Yep. So I was like, cool. And I'm just keep upping it up. And I'm like, when we got married, I had told her, I said, look, man, I got this one goddamn loan. I'm paying it, but this shit kicking my ass. We need the money. And when I tell you she my financial advisor, she's like, cool, we're gonna figure this out. We sat down, broke that thing down. I realized how much money I'm paying, how much all this interest. I said, and this stuff you don't know about. This stuff these young kids do not know about at all. Yeah. And we figured it out, we paid it off, and we good. Now, do I use credit cards? Yes. The reason why? Because I know how to use them for my leverage now. Now, if I was young with credit cards, I'd be fucked up. I would be messed all the way up.
Dude, I'm not knocking anybody that works at them. My wife worked at a loan company at one time before we had our first son. And I'm not knocking anybody that drinks alcohol because I drink alcohol, sometimes. But why do you think, like in towns that I lived in, that all you see is payday loan and liquor stores? Yep. They thrive on your demise, guys. Like that's what the world is sometimes, sadly. And yes, it's on you to stop doing it and stop. But life can spiral out of control before you realize it. Whether it be what you own or what you're partaking in or the drugs or alcohol you're consuming or anything. Too much is too much. And that's why in poor communities, and I'm sure y'all seen it too growing up, you're going to see pawn shops, you're going to see payday loans, and you're going to see liquor stores. And all those places will give you just enough money to get yourself in trouble with again. And you just owe them. And you owe them for like a payday loan, like you talk about. You can upgrade. And you turn around, dude, you owe them some serious money, and you still ain't made enough money to balance it out. And now you're just stuck with it. And I'm
going to tell you how messed up I was, bro. I ain't dealing, so I don't even know what the heck it called no more. When you swipe me your bank card on overdraft. When I first time I overdraft, I'm gonna tell you how I seen it. Oh, I can spend money that I ain't got. That's how I'm looking at it. So I'm gonna tell you my dumb mindset at the time. I said, oh, I'm gonna keep this money. I'm gonna go buy a bag of weed and I'm gonna fill my tank up. Not knowing every time I overdraft, it's charging me an overdraft fee. I get my goddamn check, and now my heart dropped to the bottom. My heart dropped to hell. And I see my check, I'm like, oh, fuck.
And I'm not trying to make excuses for none of us because, we did it, and it cost us, and we had to learn from it. But we weren't educated on it. Like, there's no way to me that the government hasn't stepped in by now in high schools and said, look, guys, we're going to all require a class before you graduate that shows you how to survive outside these doors, because some of y'all, the day you graduate, you're probably going to be getting a job and leaving, whether your parents force you out or you just make that decision. There's no way they ain't out here showing you how to write a check, how to look at interest rates, how to balance budgets, blah, blah, blah. Everybody could have used that growing up, but they don't care. Like, they don't care.
I can tell you, this is my opinion. I'd never tell a kid not to go to college, but if you go to college, please have a real plan. I even talked about it with you, man, how thinking some bullshit. Like, I can say I want to go to college. My major is picking boogers. Ain't nobody telling me that I need to go to way down yonder over there close to the goddamn equator to get a job in picking boogers. And ain't nobody gonna tell you that, and they're gonna be like, okay, cool, give me your money and we can make it happen.
You can make it happen.
Instead of
they
somebody
don't care if you get a job in that field or not. They just want their money, man. And that's what and that gets us full circle back to where we was. At the end of the day, it's hard for me to feel sorry for these colleges paying these guys money when they've been taking advantage of non-athletes and athletes for 100+ years. And now it's hard for me to feel sorry for them when some guy hits them up for $8-9 million if you want me to come to that school. It's just kind of hard for me to feel sorry for them.
Because what they got now is the knowledge out there. The knowledge is out there. And like I tell my dad about my kids, they in a better situation. My kids are in a better situation than I said, yes, you went to the military, you had the financial funds. I said, mine is not where like yours was, but I said, I know a lot more stuff to tell my kids now. I know a lot. I can put them on way more game than that you knew. I said, I ain't no knock to y'all. Y'all knew what y'all knew, and y'all did the best y'all can. Y'all did a damn good job, in my opinion. I said, but now I have a lot more information to tell my kids, and they have a lot more information to seek on their own as well.
Right. Yeah.
How did we become motivational?
Bro, we on doggone financial.
I would just be the guy with the sign in the corner that says, just don't be like me, like, because boy, in my young days, I just wanted to have a good time and I didn't give a damn about
I didn't give a damn how it happened. I was the same way. And you heard what I said when I first figured about overdraft. I was like, I was like, oh, I'm finna go buy weed. I'm finna fill my tank up with this card.
And I had two great parents, dude, that, that would whip my ass and they stayed on my ass about everything. And you listen to some of it don't hit you till you in your 30s. And right now I'm raising two young kids and I'm trying to reverse how stupid their daddy was at times and trying to teach them a better way, So it comes full circle. Life's funny like that, man.
Like my son, he ride the bus in middle school now to 8th grade, whatever. And I didn't want to ride the bus because I knew I was on some bullshit. But luckily he ain't on the bullshit. But the decisions he even make on the bus, like he don't sit in the back because they be smoking. They do all kinds of bullshit back there. The decision I would have made, I would have got on the bus. I'm going straight to the back. I'm
back here smoking a joint. I've snuck in 3-4 beers. Like, man, I was full throttle. I liked a good time. I didn't think about tomorrow, I'm glad your son's smart.
To the back and smoking a joint right now. That was he. But I mean, George Hammer said, he wished his parents had taught him. I wish mine did too, George, but I don't blame him because they didn't know. They
weren't exposed to it. They didn't know. Yeah. It's just different. It was the same with my parents. Like they knew a little, but they hadn't really dove out into the world of like those kind of big. Because I grew up. We didn't own no houses or nothing. We just rented places, and like it just wasn't a thing we knew nothing about.
Like my dad, like when he retired from the military in '95, he say this stuff now. Damn. I wish somebody would tell me about buying all this land because he said the land was so cheap out here in Fort Mitchell at the time. He said, man, I damn own Fort Mitchell. Basically, here, you know what I'm saying? When I retired, he said, but ain't nobody tell me about you to get some land and do stuff like that. He said, but now I know. You know what I'm saying?
And listen, bro, I tell people all this all the time, and I'm going to get off the money train. I tell, and this goes across the board. Black, white, Asian, male, woman. Dead is slavery, y'all.
Yes, it 100% is.
You're indebted. You're slave to somebody, a bill, car note, whatever it may be, and that's what America. That's what America runs on. They run on. When you hear the word stimulus checks, they're giving you money to go out and buy stuff, but nothing is free.
Are we paying for it now?
The economy for their rich friends.
We are paying for it right now.
Paying for it right now. Why you think shit's so damn high?
Right now.
I love that you said it that way. Like because it is slavery. It's a form of slavery. Like, and I'm not talking about what people had went through up until the 1860s. That's a whole different ball game, and that's not something I can speak on. But what I can speak on is the fact that if you went out and worked hard and bought a house for $500,000 as well, and if you don't pay your property taxes in a certain amount of time, they come get that son of a bitch. Because so when you think you're free, you're really not.
Look,
that's the truth.
And you done pay that much money for a house, but somebody all they got to do is just come get it, and they gonna pay what you owe on the property taxes and get that motherfucker. Like, what the fuck?
Yes, there's always somebody around the corner waiting to take advantage of your situation. So
you try to leave it to your kids. I mean, they got to pay something. Like, well, I paid for this a long time ago. Well, they still have to pay for something that's already paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a shame. Like that's so sad to me. Like, you don't get me started on all this shit because everybody gonna think I'm an anarchist. Like, I just leave it alone right now. But I like what Eric.
Go ahead. I'm about to say what you about to say. Go ahead.
I just want to say Eric D. He said, "Guys, who does LSU think they're going to make the play? Think they are going to make the playoffs? Don't they understand that Alabama's coming to whip their asses?" I hope so, man. I hope so. I really hope we put a whooping on LSU. I feel a hell of a lot better about this season.
Hey, so this is the last part I want to talk about. I gotta finish grilling. That's why I keep getting on y'all. So we can dive into it a little bit. After what I seen the other week, yes, it was the other week, and watching LSU this point of season, it's places that I feel like we can really attack them and attack them for our benefit.
Mm-hmm.
If we run the ball like we did against Missouri, and when I mean like we did against Missouri, consistent, don't go away from it. You gotta pound the rock. They're not that good at stopping the run.
No,
We're not
they're not
good at stopping the run. If Miro gotta have a game like he did against LSU last year. Don't be so decisive. If you see it, go. If it's there, hit it. Whatever you gotta do. Miro, you gotta have you. I need you to be a Tiger Slayer one more time. Well, two more times because the other game at the end of the season.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't discount that game. Damn it, I ain't losing to Auburn, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I need you to have that same game, that same mentality that you had last season against the LSU Tigers. And that right there, I feel like we can take our offensive line. We need to be the best offensive line we can be because them boys, they get after it on the defensive line. I can't even front. Can our defensive line continue the upward trajectory that I have been seeing? Like I said, I know earlier that the defensive personnel groups on the defensive line, we have been getting the rotations in. And that's why I was so big on this defensive line group coming to the season because we got the guys to rotate in and out to keep the same intensity throughout the game, the whole game. We got those guys, but will we do it? I don't know. Can we do it? I think we can, but the stuff we did last game, we gotta imitate that goddamn run. We gotta run the ball because, and then, even on big plays downfield, I believe we can get them because Burns and them boys got the tendency to get burnt. Major Burns got the tendency to get burnt. They got the tendency to get beat on the back end. So I believe if we come in there and play Alabama football. And that's all cliche is saying for Alabama fans.
Right.
We can win the game. We can win the game.
I don't think that's cliche necessarily. I think when you think of what Alabama football is, it's running the ball, controlling the clock, and playing good defense. Don't you put Tom Reed's comment up at You'll be ashamed of your damn self, Tom. I always speak highly of you. Ashamed of yourself. Damn. That's all right. I went from lank to stank 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
That is a good one, though. That is a good one.
It's gay. It is what it is.
Yeah, you got to give a hater credit when they come up with a good one, you know? That hurt, though.
Listen, we got to this week, man. I mean, we're going into the last 4 games of the season for Alabama. If we want any chance of having anything outside of a playoff, I mean, not a playoff, but a bowl game, if we want to try to make the playoff, we got to go in. We have to have a dominant game against LSU.
Yep.
And I'm not saying we got to beat them by 40. What I'm saying is we got to go in and play dominant football. We have to look like we were Alabama. You know, we can't come back and struggling and 3 and out. Our defense can't get out the field on 3rd down, and on 4th down they're going for it. We have to come in and win decisively and take care of that business. And listen, I know Oklahoma's not playing great football, but we still have to go to Norman.
Yeah,
you know. And we all know everybody give Alabama their best game. You know, even though Alabama may not have the premier year that we've been having, or the team that we were, whatever. Just to say you beat Alabama is bragging right. So. You know, we still have some football left to be played. I think we can do it. I think we just have to go in and, like you said, we have to get the running game going, dominate the line of scrimmage, and I think we can really beat LSU. We got to do it early. We got to strike first and fast, get that crowd out of it because it's a night game, and we know how those guys are loud. Those guys are loud out there, and they are into the game, and we can get them out.
It's one of the run the ball. Environments in college football at night.
And all our losses on the road. So that's
yeah.
So
we haven't won a road game this
the
year.
defense a lot. The front seven is so pivotal into this game to me because if you can get the nuts, he gonna do some things that they don't. He gonna bust. I'm gonna just say that. But if we ain't getting the nuts, you put them young cornerbacks, them young DBs in a situation where they got to defend Kyron Lacey on a consistent basis. Aaron Anderson, Mason Taylor, them guys, it's gonna be a long day for us if our front seven cannot cause any havoc.
Well, I mean, LA Chris has came on here and talked about it a lot. They have one of the best wide receiver rooms in college football, and I agree with that. And Nuss, he's Carson Beck-esque right now. Like, he'll either throw a phenomenal game or he will make some of the stupidest decisions you've ever seen. And like, there ain't a whole lot of in between with it. And I'm really hoping that he makes a lot of bad decisions. You know, I'm sure LA Chris gonna watch this. He may text one of us later, call us haters, but yeah, I'm rooting against you, big homie. Bama got to win. We got to win good. So, I don't know. Like, do we trust LSU's defense yet? Because we were starting to think they looked pretty good, and then Texas A&M come in there and ran the ball all over them. And so there again, like that, you laid it out earlier. That's the game plan. You've got to run the ball early and often against LSU right now, and I think you can beat them. You
got to get Pritchard help on that right side. They need to. They got to send a running back over there or something, or the tight end on that right side to help him because he has been struggling. And I know they're watching film, so I know they're going to attack that. I know any good coach would. So we got to get, them guys over there and help get Pritchard some help on that side.
Yeah.
Hey, before we jump off here, just real quick, you cool with me doing something real quick?
Go ahead, yo.
Let's point out some college football teams are still getting it done right now. They ain't getting a whole lot of spotlight.
There might be another hour or two.
Let's holler at BYU real quick.
They finding a way. I want to talk about something. Go ahead.
Them Brigham Youngs.
The fighting Mormons over there, man. They getting it done, and you know. I've heard them referred to as bicycle riders, and that cracks me up. But still, they're finding a way, man. Like, they're getting it done. And Boise State right now, who played the number one team in the country, Oregon, very close, who has probably the best running back in the country right now, who I really think should be considered for the Heisman at least. Boise State's playing really damn good football. They are playing really solid football. But, the thing about Alabama that we've talked about, we got 2 losses, and hopefully that's all we have. We've still got to compete against a lot of other 2 great lost teams right now. So you got to look good doing it. That's the thing we're not, because we're probably not going to the ACC championship unless some weird shit starts happening.
Right.
So we've really got to win and win dominantly, I feel like, to really get the attention of the committee. So, you want them thinking about you early and often. But, hey, shout out to Army. They rebounded this week. So glad to see them come back after, well, wait, Army's undefeated, right? Yeah. Army's still undefeated. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was Navy. It took a loss last week against Notre Dame, right?
Yeah.
So they're still. I just wanted to highlight a few of these because sometimes they get left by the wayside. We talk about Iowa State getting upset, but Texas Tech's only 1 loss. I think they're playing really good football right now. They can score on you. Yeah, they're 6-3. Texas Tech 6-3. In fact, I think they play Colorado this weekend. That's going to be a good ball game. I look forward to watching that one because Texas Tech is hard to keep off the scoreboard. So we may see a high-scoring affair against Colorado.
Tom Reed's still in the thing. Tom Reed's still in the chat. Yeah, Tom Reed's still in the chat. I got something for you, Tom. Be right back.
Hey, so I heard you talk about Boise. I love Boise. I love what they're doing. Yeah, This isn't even about Boise, but Can we show Caleb Johnson? I think his name Caleb Johnson from Iowa some love because we talk about the running back from Boise.
Mhm.
We ain't talking about the Iowa running back that's doing the damn same thing, really. He ain't
Really?
getting enough
Look
love.
it down for me. Yeah, I hadn't even heard much about. I hadn't got to watch an Iowa play this year.
Putting up crazy numbers too, and we ain't talking about it. Probably because it's Iowa, and you know what I'm saying. They are who they are, but in the running game, he doing the same thing, bro.
Caleb Johnson, that's his name.
His number's stupid right now too.
Okay, yeah, he's averaging 7.5 yards a carry. Got 19 touchdowns, 1,200 yards on 170 carries. Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. And he's doing that in Big Ten, where there's some pretty decent defenses out there.
And see, for you not to even been on that, that's how I know we ain't talking about it enough.
I honestly hadn't got to watch Iowa play a game this year. It's just kind of been one of them weird things because I used to like to watch their defense at least because they've always had great defenses, great offensive linemen, great tight ends. And you'll get to see a lot of the guys in the NFL. But their games just kind of seem to happen when other games that I'm looking forward to come on, and I just hadn't got to watch them. But, man, he's putting up phenomenal numbers.
Yep. So I said, man, we don't talk about it enough, but that's happening right now.
Hold up, what you eating on over
there? Piece of barbecue chicken I got on the grill.
Uh-oh.
They good, too.
Good. All right,
didn't get an invite.
Oh, you come.
Tom, now here's my Braves hat. Tom told some. He was talking about he liked my Atlanta Braves hat last time I had my Alabama hat on. Here's my Braves hat, Tom. Different A.
Yep.
Different A.
Yes, it is. I didn't even know you watched baseball. Rise up.
I'm a Braves fan, man. I really get into it at the end of the season, starting to get in the post.
Yeah, season's too damn long. It's hard to keep up with it.
It's a lot. Not no. I have a couple, Tom. I have a couple of the Braves hat, man.
You know what I actually really enjoy going to, just off subject? I love going to minor league baseball games.
Hey, they so lit, man.
Mm-hmm.
They are, man. I love it.
He into it too. And down here in Columbus, we always had a baseball team, but it's gonna be like I want to say AA, the Braves, AA. I forgot what, but they're gonna be with the Braves down here in Columbus, and they redoing the field and everything now, and we're gonna be getting one.
Hey, I may have to holler at you sometime. We'll have to go down there and watch a game together then, because I love minor league. I went to a Chattanooga Lookouts game this year. It was the first time I'd ever got to go to one, and I think they're double or triple A team for the Red Sox. I think it is. No, it's for the Reds, for Cincinnati Reds.
Okay.
And I got to go to them, and I've been wanting to go to a Rome Braves game because I live fairly close to Rome. But I ain't got to go over there yet. But yeah, I love watching minor league ball.
That's something else for you too, Tom. With my Falcons.
Oh, old Falcons. I like that.
They're hard.
You need to come up off that. I'd like to have that.
I ain't done.
Hey, double O'Neal. Who's your team, bro?
Ooh.
I'm glad you're in the chat. Appreciate you for tuning in, big dog.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, Double O'Neal. Oh, that goes hard. That's the old school Falcons logo too. That goes hard right there.
That's fire. Yeah. I can see me with. I'm a Bucks fan, but I can see me now with a pair of them Dion's. I rock that right now, bro.
I bet Rise Up had that in the stands back when Hammer was on the sidelines. It was over. That jacket goes hard, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome. I miss the old starter jackets, the old NFL starter jackets.
Oh, wow.
They had some flavor to them, man. Everything now so vanilla. Like, just popped off of them.
And look, when you look them up now, especially they used to have them star jacket, it was like a silky material, like a silk material.
Mm-hmm.
My brother had an Alabama one that used to go so hard. I look them up now, and them things so expensive. I said, God dang it. Oh my God, Tar Heels fan, boy, y'all got that win yesterday against FSU and Boise State Broncos. He from NC. Appreciate you for tuning in. Salute.
Hey, I've been rooting for NC basketball most of my life because Alabama back then just wasn't it in basketball. So I used to root for North Carolina Tar Heels, of course, because I was a big Jordan fan. But yeah, man, that's awesome. A Tar Heel fan and a Boise State Bronco fan in the chat. That's really cool. We like seeing different fan bases come in here and chop it up, man. It makes for interesting conversation.
Hit that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we went off on a tangent for a long part of the show.
We kind of known for it. We're like, ever since NSJ's been gracious enough to let me come in on some of his shows with it, man. Like, I'll get you off topic real quick. I'm weird.
Nah, that's what we do, man. Because it's natural, man. Like, if it's organic, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool. Oh, man, you know. This is exactly why we all chilling. This is the atmosphere I want out here. We just talking.
Yeah, man. That's what I like too, man. I like I'm sitting around with people at the barbershop or sitting with my buddies on the porch or something like that. Just talking, you know, like I got teams I don't like, but I don't hate the fans. You know what I'm saying? Like I can sit there and talk football with anybody as long as they ain't crazy. So
they
said go Alabama and Duke Blue Devils. So I guess you a Duke basketball guy. So I never did like the snobby Duke kids, man. It used to piss me off because they would play team basketball so well. Yeah, and like they were
they played team basketball.
It was like watching military. Like they didn't make mistakes, and I just couldn't stand them. Like just white collar kids and just snobby dudes. I couldn't stand them. But yeah, they were fantastic back in the day. Duke was good, really good.
Yeah, but guys, y'all know Sunday weekend is my weekend to cook. So right now I got some burgers I need to put on the grill and go hook up these baked beans. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm ready.
Yeah, man, it's another fun one.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Van Rise Up and Nick financial show for our show.
hey, and I just became a life coach about a couple of minutes ago. So if y'all need any life coaching advices, I would advise you not to ask me.
Yeah, anything that I would do financially, y'all do well in life. I promise you.
You opposite of what I did.
Yeah. He said he been a Duke fan since the 90s.
Hey, respect to that, man.
Yeah.
He's got to see some great basketball wins, some great championship teams.
Yes, sir.
How many of them guys really went to the league and did something though? But that's neither besides the point.
You gotta get that little thing in. I get it. Shane Battier.
Yeah, he was a good ass role player.
He was. He really was.
Hey, yeah, for real.
Underrated defensive guy too, man. That dude's defense was solid.
Hey, LSU hate week begins. Let the game
go,
baby.
Corn dog, lick it up fans.
Yeah, go teabag an LSU fan like that one Alabama guy did at that Crystals down there in Baton Rouge. Like if you see one asleep on a table, just get them. I'm just bullshit. Don't go get arrested. It's just a football game. I'm just playing. Don't do none of that shit. Don't do none of it.
I keep it going, Eric. Keep it going. Grant Hill injury.
Grant Hill is solid, man.
Injury slowed down, but keep it going.
What's that boy name? Christian Laettner.
Yeah. Oh God, I hated Laettner.
He had a good year.
I just hate him.
Oh,
I just hate him. I just hated dude. I'm just throwing him out there because we be talking about him and I hated him so bad.
I like how Double O'Neal roots for two different teams too. Because honestly, like we watch so much football that you find yourself rooting for other teams too, besides just Alabama. Like I've been rooting for UNLV this year. Rise Up got me on the pit train, and of course that something derailed, but I'm still rooting for. I want to have a solid finish. But yeah, man, I'm rooting for Indiana right now. I'd love to see them do something crazy, like upset Ohio State and finish undefeated. Like that'd be crazy to see, man.
Illinois lost yesterday. They've been like, let me shut up. I can continue to go on with this.
Did you watch that Syracuse game, by the way?
No,
that's
a good ball game.
Who won that?
I ain't salute Mr. Dugas until we beat him. Then I got a lot to say about Mr. Dugas because he been laughing
Yeah,
He said when we lost against Bandit, he made a
I'd
video
give
when we
him a
lost
call.
against Mississippi.
I might give him a call. I don't know. I might give him a call.
Chris gonna be at that game, isn't he?
Yeah, he say was, yo.
Yeah, he said he's gonna show me a picture of the scoreboard. I hope it's lopsided. I hope Bama up by 40. I hope he just had to take the picture and his hands are shaking.
So I talked to LA Chris today. He said, of course, Tuesday, I'm trying to shoot for Tuesday if that's good with y'all.
Yeah.
And I try to get him to come on this show or whatever. But he at work right now.
But my final thoughts here, I was talking about Syracuse. That Syracuse Virginia Tech game was good. Winning in overtime, Syracuse come from behind and ended up winning 38-31 in overtime. It was a good football game against Virginia Tech. You missed on a good one.
Syracuse got a wide receiver over there, Jackson Meeks. They play wide receiver for Georgia, but they ain't use him, man. He over there eating at Syracuse too.
Mm-hmm.
He a 3-star guy.
Speaking of Indiana, man, Waylon got this nice Indiana baseball cap. He showed me a picture of it yesterday.
Oh snap! Yeah, I bet Waylon got all kind of cool shit, man. Like he just seemed like he just collected cool stuff his whole life, you know.
Have y'all seen his cars?
Yeah.
Well, he got a lot of old school,
bro. I'm talking about Mary Jackson type car. Bro.
Yeah, he got some beautiful old like muscle cars. Like I used to be on Facebook, I was friends with him on Facebook, man, and like he's got beautiful stuff.
He got a garage, bro.
Cool, pretty
He's
cool.
He's got like a garage with nothing but muscle car, and I'm talking about mint condition, bro.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah. Double O'Neal, I appreciate you for tuning in. If you ain't subscribed,
yeah, man, please come back because you've made some really cool comments, man. We love having cool people from different fan bases in here. It's fun. It's fun for us.
Hey, tell your friend to bring a friend and bring a friend and bring another friend because it's all football here, bro. And
especially
Alabama.
It's an Alabama channel, but we talk football, so it ain't gonna never just be Alabama. We're gonna talk about it all. And since you being a Boise fan, I'm telling you, after the way this year going, we're gonna be talking about Boise State a lot more, more
for sure.
But y'all, what song you said they mean like me?
lose against let's see, lose against
Knoxville and
Knoxville.
Oh boy. But y'all, we're gonna be back Tuesday. We're gonna talk about the LSU Alabama game and Georgia Ole Miss. Hey, football is a heavy hitting sport right now this week. These next couple of weeks, college football crazy right now. So we're gonna be talking about a lot of these games. We're gonna see how they turn out. And y'all be sure to tune in Tuesday, 8:00 Eastern time, 7:00 Central time for this preview prediction show. And I'll probably name it Any Given Saturday again. I think I like that. Any Given
Saturday is a nice ring.
Saturday preview prediction. I like that. Mm-hmm. I think that we're gonna be from now on. But y'all tune in, Roll Tide, and we out.
Roll Tide, everybody.